Hello and welcome back. I am Alexandra Marhevich and these are World Talks, where every word matters. Now, as tensions escalate in the Middle East amid the Gaza conflict, a strategic realignment is in making, with Turkey and Iran at the center of attention. Now, the potential emerge of then an axis of revisionism has sparked intrigue and apprehension. So join us for a grappling discussion now is Spyros Sofos, Assistant Professor at the Department of Global Humanities at Simon Fraser University, Canada, and Eytan Cohen Yanarocak, Turkey expert at the Moshe Dayan Center for Middle Eastern and African Studies at Tel Aviv University. Hello and welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first and foremost, now, the recent escalation in Gaza has raised concerns about the potential for a regional conflict. So how do you assess the impact of this situation on a broader Middle East dynamics, particularly with the US involvement? And that would be for Spyros Sofos.
Yes, thank you for having me. I think that, of course, the situation is quite volatile and unpredictable developments may take place at any moment. I think that the interest of all major players in the region, I'm not talking about Israel, I'm talking about Iran, I'm talking about the Arab states surrounding Israel, is to keep the possibility of a conflict contained. And therefore, I think that for the time being, this is what we have been seeing. We've been seeing that Hezbollah on the north of Israel has been quite, I would say, constrained in its interactions with Israel. The Arab states have been very high on rhetoric, but have not been prepared to take any action. Iran is also has an interest in not escalating more the situation, as it doesn't want to have, for example, to open a distance between Israel and potentially the United States.
And Eytan Cohen Yanarocak, what is your take on this?
Well, I will provide you an Israeli perspective. First of all, I would like to highlight the fact that we were the ones who were attacked and our internationally recognized borders were breached by bloody terrorists. Our civilians were kidnapped, they were raped, they were burned, and they were killed brutally. And therefore, now Israel is doing what every sovereign nation would do. And therefore, we launched a war against this terrorist entity. And unfortunately, our neighborhood is very challenging. We are unfortunately, once again, surrounded by hostile terrorist organizations like Hezbollah, which is an offshoot of the Iranian terrorist machinery. And they are eager to seize the opportunity to make it into a regional war. But thanks to our ally, the United States, Israel, and of course other allies as well, like Germany, like Britain, like France, the civilized world delivered a very strong message here to all these destabilizing actors in the Middle East that it will be also very destructive for themselves as well if they're going to intervene in this conflict. We would like to underline once again, our fight is not against the Palestinian people, is against the Hamas terrorist organization. And Israeli government would do everything to eradicate this threat from our borders. Our civilians are living under constant rocket attacks, but unfortunately it did not only ended with the rocket attacks. These terrorists infiltrated and penetrated into our sovereign territory and they killed our civilians. So if we want that our citizens will continue to live in our land, in our sovereign state, we have to provide them the necessary security measures. This is the most fundamental principle of the social contract that it is made between the citizens and the states.
Right. So I'm really glad that you mentioned also the United States and its involvement within also catering to the peace in the region. We know that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been to Israel a couple of times, 3, I believe, so far since the beginning of the conflict. But both Turkey and Iran have expressed that dissatisfaction really with the U.S. approach to the Gaza conflict. So could you perhaps elaborate on the reasons behind their criticism and how it affects the regional interests? And that would be for Spyros Sofos.
Okay, first of all, I must...
Pardon me, for Spyros Sofos, yes, please.
Apologies.
Of course.
That's okay. No problem at all. Yes, I would like to say that indeed, Turkey and Iran have criticized the United States for its, I would say, what they consider to be a blank check support towards Israel. And there are reasons behind this. I think the main reason has to do with both rhetorical but also historical links that these two countries have with the Palestinian movements, including, of course, Hamas, which has committed these atrocities in the beginning of October. I also think that they have expressed concerns privately about the buildup of American forces in the region because they are, especially Iran, is concerned about escalation of the conflict and the possibility of something happening that will push the Islamic Republic of Iran into some sort of armed confrontation, which it does not want because of the need to maintain stability within its borders. And also to maintain the relative, I would say, rapprochement that it has had recently through the China-brokered meetings with Saudi Arabia, and increasingly now with the diplomatic interactions that it has with other countries that in the Arab world that until now it has not had. So. Turkey has other reasons that feels a discomfort about the U.S. presence in the region. As we've seen in the Nagorno-Karabakh case, Turkey and Russia have been extremely proactive in trying to keep both the United States and the European Union away from the region so that they can, in many ways, inform the situation according to their own interests. And they have been doing the same in Syria. So Turkey doesn't want the United States to become very active in the region, as it considers this an added difficulty in promoting its interests in the region.
Right. So let me also, I'm really glad that you mentioned now, in fact, to the involvement of Iran. And now, Eytan, Cohen, Yanarocak, Spyros Sofos mentioned that Iran does not want escalation in the region, but also Iran's support for Hamas is well documented. So how do you think that Iran views its relationship with Hamas, and how should we, let's look at it, really?
Well, unfortunately, I disagree with Dr. Sofos, and I truly believe that all of this war from the very beginning was orchestrated by the Ayatollah regime of Tehran. And they regarded the positive incidents in the Middle East as a threat against their national security. Let us not forget, before October the 7th, we were talking about a greater Middle East, which was the main emphasis was the peace between Saudi Arabia and Israel. And Iran sponsored the Hamas terrorist organization. They pushed this terrorist entity to launch a very brutal attack against the Israeli civilians. They butchered our civilians. And as a result, we had no choice but to declare war against these evil forces. This is a war between the dark and the light. And therefore, unfortunately, I'm not buying that the Iranians are not eager to turn this into a regional war. I think that this is, if there is a U-turn today in the Iranian foreign policy, which they are trying to lower the flames in the Middle East, it's because of the U.S. deterrence. The U.S. sent to the Middle East their aircraft carriers, and they really showed the Iranians and their proxies in the region if they were going to take an advantage of the situation against Israel. The U.S. will stand next to the state of Israel and all of the civilized world as well. That's why we have seen the German chancellor here. We had seen the Greek prime minister. We had seen the UK, the British prime minister, the French president. This is a war between the civilized world and the ones who are fueling hatred and hostility in the Middle East. And therefore, if you're also going to look at the foreign policy perspective of the Emiratis and of the Saudi Arabia, you will see that they are not adopting a destructive rhetoric vis-a-vis the state of Israel. We really still believe in peace. I think that this would be the most important present that we can provide to our children in the region, not only for the Israeli children, but I truly believe that it will be also a present for the Palestinian children. But first of all, in order to make it happen, we have to eradicate this Hamas terrorist organization, and later we will be able to build this peace on healthier grounds.
Right. But then again, also another key player that we are talking about apart from Iran and also the situation that it involves is definitely Turkey. So my question to Spyros Sofos is, so what are the key factors driving Turkey's stance on the Gaza conflict, especially when it comes to mediation?
Yes. First of all, I would say that Turkey has established I would say, a relationship with various Palestinian organizations, and it seeks to use this relationship to as leverage in many ways in becoming a key actor in the region and in the conflict, and it has the aspiration of mediating. I must say that the current foreign minister, Hakan Fidan, who used to be head of the secret services of Turkey, has been quite active, as in the past he has been in Libya and Syria, in trying to broker some sort of agreement between various actors. I think, however, Turkey doesn't have the, although it continues to aspire to mediate, it has also been very cautious, as the United States has just recently agreed to provide it with some military aid to upgrade its air force. And it has tried to ensure that the senators that object to this agreement are not going to be enraged by its, I would say, activities in the region. That's why we see also that Turkey has been quite compliant in the issue of the accession of Sweden in NATO.
Right, definitely. We see that Turkey here is playing a pivotal role, and definitely mediation is something that we've seen for a couple of months now when it comes to different conflicts that have sparked within the region. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for bringing two perspectives to the table, sometimes clashing, but I'm really glad that we had that conversation. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
And that will be all for now, but do stay tuned for more here on TVP World as we bring you, as always, all the latest updates.